Alrighty, welcome to a little Canva tutorial. I know I got a lot of questions from people about the airdrop and using Canva to create Instagram stories. And I have spent a lot of time frustrated trying to get my pictures on my phone to be formatted in a way that's going to show what I wanted to show on Instagram stories. And I tried winging one of these last week, and I just felt so scattered, and I would post something, I'm like, no, I should have done this first, and I just felt extremely unorganized. So I have been using Canva to create different presentations and different templates or things, and I found that this would be the easiest way to create content for a sneak peek into coaching, and then to be able to download it to myself using AirPlay. So I mean, when you start in Canva, and you can just, I don't know if it'll let me just, so you can see my dimensions here, 1020 by 1920. That's the iPhone, your little story thing. That's the dimensions. You can change them. You would just go to create new design, and then you would crop it. I'm not going to create a new one, but if you're not familiar with Canva, you just go through your uploads. You can upload images. If you use AirPlay already and you're familiar, I can't show you here, but you can AirPlay from your phone to your desktop that way. And that's what I did with a lot of these. This was for another presentation I did, but I put all the pictures I wanted to use. You can kind of see them as I go down through. And then I really tried to strategize, how was I going to do this? And I followed the example that Sarah Griffith gave to all of us before on just, kind of giving that brief synopsis. And I used all pictures, and I just find that pictures people can click through than sitting there listening to me talk on Instagram. I actually don't do a lot of talking personally on Instagram stories. So I feel like when I did do the sneak peek into a day in the life of a coach last week, it wasn't really my normal, because that's not what I do. I don't sit there and talk to my IG stories audience very often. So I feel like this is more me anyways. You can see, it's on my stories today. So if you're watching this now, you'll get to see it. But I went through, if you're just a couple basics on Canva, you're going to add this overlay. It's just an element over here. I've always been a PicMonkey person, but I found that Canva actually does a lot more cooler stuff. So I've learned to embrace it and really just try different things. But if you see back up there, it just puts the square on. You can resize it. Move my camera thing around. This over here is going to give the transparency, so you can make it different transparency. Over here in the corner, this would change your color. So if you wanted to make it pink, that's where you would do that. Oops, I think I hid my thing. So that's how I did these layers, and I kept all of my fonts and all of my font and my colors all the same, just so that it was uniform throughout. That's what I do on Instagram anyway. So I stuck with the pink that I usually use. I did some shadowing, and that I don't actually know if there's an easier way to do shadowing on here other than to, like, if I show you here, try to move this. I actually just have the same text. I just copied it twice and then just kind of tried to move it over. We'll undo that so that that doesn't stay there, because I actually plan to use this template going forward. But that is how I added, I just did the layers, I added the text, and then each time I was done with one, undo this, I would hit this little button and it duplicates it. Now you can only have 30 of these, I don't know if you want to call them images or spots in your slideshow. You can have 30, and I have 30, but you can trash it here. You can move them here. So let's just say there's my audit mom, the stay-at-home mom, and let's just pretend like I wanted this one to be before that. If you highlight it, you can just hit up, and it just moves it up, or maybe if it does it. And I just think that is, where'd it go? Went the wrong way. Oh, no, it didn't. There, it did it. Or it moved it twice. I clicked it twice. But so you can reorganize your slides here. And I think that's another difference with PicMonkey. Like when I would do PicMonkey, you would just be creating an image at a time, where this allows you to do all of them. And I actually went through and did it. And then I changed my font. And again, it was super easy because I didn't save anything yet. I just went back, and you can see, your thing comes up here. There's your fonts. You change your size, your colors, where it's justified. Like that's where you do all that. So it's pretty simple. I'm sure there's way more things that you can do. I didn't mess with any of this stuff over here. I would add banners, and then I would add the pictures. And like if you look at this picture here, awesome initial before picture. But I couldn't find the original one. So this is cropped out of like an old comparison. So it was an odd size. So with this one, I just changed the background to be the same pink that I use for all my text. So there are, and they're free. Like, I mean, obviously, I think this little crown means you can like upgrade to a certain level of account. I just have a basic membership. But you can change your fonts or your backgrounds to different things with that. And that's the gist of it here. I just kept redoing things, adding new images, moving things around, and I got it to where once I was good with it, then I downloaded it. And if you click the download button up here, you can do JPEGs, a PDF. I didn't know you could do a GIF or GIF, whatever it's called. But I would just do a JPEG and do all pages, and then it will download. And when I download things, to make sure, can you still see my downloads folder, Deidre?
The downloads folder?
Do you see it, or do you just see Canva?
No, I don't see a downloads folder.
All right, let me stop the share and start it again. I feel like sometimes it doesn't follow when you move screens.
Are you doing JPEG or PNG? Because it was.
I did JPEG. I don't know if it matters. I mean, I think they're just both pictures, right?
I think so.
All right, so can you see the thing now?
Yep.
So when I open anything with downloads, this is where it goes. This is my finder. And it shows like this was just IG story platform. These are the 30 images I had. Now, obviously, you can take all 30 images, you can email them to yourself, you can open them up on your phone, and you can save the 30 images. Not a big deal. There's also a Canva app, so I imagine that there's a way that you can link this up and open it on your phone. But what I found super easy, I'm a big fan of Airdrop. That's how my husband and I share all our pictures and videos, because you don't have to send them. And you don't lose quality when you do it that way. So I opened a second Finder window. So if you go up here, you can click New Finder window, and now I have two finders. So can you see the one that has Airdrop on it, Deidre?
Yes.
Okay, so there's one with Airdrop, and then here's the one with my presentation. So if I go to the one with Airdrop, you like open my phone, it should recognize that my phone is up. So there it shows my iPhone, and then you can go and you just drag and drop it. I mean, you can select all of them. I'm not going to take all 30 back to my phone. But you can just select these 30 pictures, drag and drop it, and then you'll get a notification on your phone that will pop up, and it'll say accept these 30 pictures, and then they're there. I will say they're not in order, because when I started my thing on Instagram this morning, I like uploaded the first 3, and then I realized they actually weren't in order. So it did jumble them up in order, but it's made it really easy and efficient to keep putting them on my stories today. And more than anything, I'm going to go back to that, and I'm going to tweak it. Like, as I have different pictures to add or different things to include, I'll just go back and tweak it. And I feel like it just, and like Sarah had an awesome example of showing like her challengers results. I actually did a poll in my group on Monday, like tell me your non-scale victories between this first week. And like, I have a whole collection of just awesome testimonials. I'm like, this is another example where I can take this. When you're in Canva, you can just duplicate. So let me show you that. But it's, go back to Canva. So when you're in Canva, like what I should have done before I started this is I should have went and said, make a copy and called this IG story example. And then anything that I would have done to it, it wouldn't have mattered. And then I could just delete it. So like, if I even go, how do I get back to like my stuff? Like, I use Canva. I've like started to just use Canva for so many different things. I use it for my meal plans, makes meal planning really easy. I had done a call the other night. I made my little slides in here, and then you can just duplicate them and edit your text really simply. This is what I've been doing with my meal plans. Like, certain things with my meal plans stay the same every week. Like, I don't change my breakfast, I don't change my lunch, I don't change my snacks. Like, it just makes it really easy to just efficiently go through them. What else? Here's like little leaderboard things. So like new coach announcements, like I use this for that too. So I know it's like, to me, it's not as user-friendly as PicMonkey. I thought PicMonkey was really easy. But I'm finding that this one is actually way more efficient, and I feel like it's more professional and has way more uses. That makes sense?
Love it.
Any questions? Anything that doesn't make sense?
I think that is all. When you make the copy, you said when you make the copy,
Mhm.
do you do that at the very beginning then, and it just saves a hard copy of the initial picture?
Yeah,
Or
so
do
like
you
is my
have like a banner on every single picture?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, if you wanted your banner on every picture, you would just, and like you hit, there's a button to duplicate and then you move them around on the slide so you can make a whole thing. But no, I want this one first, I want that one first. I just think for like, if you want to like really think it out, like you can really plan it and see what it looks like before you actually have to do anything with it.
Right. Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks, Meg.
You're welcome. So that's I'm going to stop the recording. That's just on my little Canva presentation. Where's my stop?